So I've kind of always ignored Forza on the issue of frame rates because, again, any game pushed to its limit or pushed basically will basically have frame rate problems. Any game can have that type of problem as well. You know, doesn't matter what hardware it's on. You can have the greatest hardware, and sometimes games can just be pushed to its limit, like as well. But there's a new Donkey Kong game coming out this year. It's coming out in July, so only a couple of months it's coming out, obviously. But Bonanza hit 60 frames per second while running at a native 1080p. There's reportedly a number of notable frame rate inconsistencies as well here. It's not quite consistent, especially at the map view. Performance peak pulse rapidly between 30 and 60 FPS. Classic double buffer VSync, and also photo mode view appears to drop to 30 FPS more frequently than the main gameplay as well here. So that's just using the higher resolution or settings in the higher gameplay. So usually when there's a higher resolution in games, sometimes the frame rate will dip in favor of the higher resolution. This happens all the time on PC, I think, as well here. Not only that, some of the physics-based interactions as well here. Here, see animation update closer to 30 FPS for the foreground gameplay up to 60 FPS. So there's, of course, the game isn't out yet. They'll probably would fix these issues when the game comes out, obviously. But compared to FX Gorilla, which has how long held the pinnacle of destructible environments as well here. And basically, the game will run very, very, very similar to Red Faction Gorilla in terms of frame rate as well here. Well, that game also bounces in frame rate constantly because of its destructible environment as well here. It isn't too surprising that Donkey Kong Bonanza, with its destructible environment, is, of course, as well here. And no game has really been able to recapture that games as well here. Many other games have destructible maps, but not really as big as that other game was. It seems that Donkey Kong Bonanza will have some notable wrinkles ironed out before launch as well here, because the game, of course, has 3 months left to release, and of course, they can, of course, wrinkle out and patch these games out, because I think the game, because of course, they gotta realize the game was sold as a demo, so only very little of the game was sold, obviously, as well here, and honestly, I do have faith that Nintendo will be able to fix this whole problem before the game comes out, as well, considering the fact that the game is still not out yet, It isn't like Game Freak where they just don't give a crap, obviously, as well here. Yeah, but yeah, that's what this video here. Goodbye.